So, what did you miss at Jubilee today? Well, you you missed the reminder that next Sunday will be Etienne Lesage's last Sunday as our intern, and so you missed the invitation to join us next week when Etienne will preach and will preside communion and will have written the communion liturgy, and it will be a wonderful Sunday. So you missed that invitation. But with today itself, well, what did you miss? You missed some challenging readings from the Gospel and from Acts and from First John. We heard the Apostle Paul, when questioned by a crowd after a healing, remind the crowd that they had crucified Jesus, that they had killed the author of life, and that they had demanded his crucifixion even when Pilate was ready to release him. We heard that, and those were hard words. We also heard the gospel in Luke when Jesus appeared to the disciples to show them his wounds, to assure them that he was alive. He even asked that they might bring him food, and he had broiled fish with them. And so we wondered about what that could possibly mean. And I speculated that certainly the gospel makes it clear that Luke wants us to understand that Jesus is alive. That's why he's eating. He's not a ghost. He's not a wish fulfillment. The resurrection is physical and not simply good memory or even spiritual. It's physical. That's why he has to eat. But then I wondered further a little bit about what it means to eat. How food is so important to us that we actually have intimate relationships with people with whom we eat. We trust people who give us food. We ourselves are vulnerable when we eat. When we go to visit someone's home, the first thing they'll do is offer us something to eat or drink, and if we are polite and wish to foster a relationship, we will receive that gift. And I suggested that perhaps what Jesus is doing in asking for something to eat is he is letting the apostles know that they have an intimate relationship, a vital and important relationship with him and with God. And they might have wondered if perhaps that relationship had been severed with Jesus' death, with their inability to be all they meant to be. They did deny Jesus. They weren't there when they were needed, and their faith was incomplete because they doubted. And so perhaps they were worried that the relationship was over. Perhaps they spent nights like many of us do say, oh, if only I had done this better, if only I had stayed awake in the garden, if only I hadn't denied Jesus, if only I had understood what he said, if only. But Jesus' arrival takes a with only, if only, and changes it to next time. If only is the way we talk about the past, things that can't be changed. But next time is the way we talk about the future and an ongoing relationship. And so Jesus having lunch with the apostles turns if only into next time because it establishes a relationship that goes forward. Next time I wouldn't fall asleep. Next time I will be more brave. Next time I will be ready. Next time I will love more. That's what happens when Jesus invites us to a meal. He reminds us that our relationship with God is intimate. It is vulnerable. It is vital. And it changes, if only, into next time. We contemplated that. And then, as we went to the prayers of the people, we heard the Apostle John's first letter. I think it was the 4th chapter. And we heard that we are children of God. And we also heard at the end of the passage that those who do right are righteous. And so our prayers this morning were to recognize what it means to be a child of God, the lens by which we view the world, seeing God's presence in the natural world, in the people around us, in possibilities, but also that we need not shade our eyes. Being children of God, we can dare to look upon violence, poverty, things that frighten us, because we know that we're not alone. We are not single children of God, and we are not alone. That's what it means to be a child of God. And so we dared this morning to pray for an end to violence, even when it seems impossible. We dared to pray for an end to poverty. We dared to pray for the strength to be with those who grieve and mourn, even though we don't know what to say, because we're children of God. And then we were reminded that God focuses on what we do more often than God focuses on the flags we fly, because we heard that those who do right are righteous, not those who confess a certain creed or sing a special anthem. Those who do right are right with God. So that's what you missed with us this morning. Hopefully you won't miss us next week as we celebrate our ministry with Etienne, and as we say goodbye to Etienne and wish him well, but just so that we can be together. It would be great to see you next week. Thanks. God bless.